everybody. It's really an honor and privilege to be here and have the opportunity to help grow Empowerment Collective's organization. On my left here, my colleague Matangi, Kapahabna, V, and my name is Benedict. What we see here, these incredible women, this is really the heart of the business. I made your bag, I made your jewelry, I made your scarf, I made your clothes. This is the story that is infused through everything this business is doing, this organization is doing. It's really at the heart of what they're all about, and it's imperative that that continues. Now, though the mandate was to try to grow B2B sales at the moment, as well as to penetrate the Canadian market and to sell more there, while also continuing to raise global awareness around the 7 key goals, we think it's extremely important that right now we focus on leveraging the strengths of the business and focus on B2C, specifically initially. Streamline the product offering and really focus on telling that story that those women are all about and what Nazreen's all about, making sure that that is a cohesive story across all the platforms of the company.
Diving deep into our internal analysis, we'll be looking at finance, operations, and marketing. Currently, the profit margins of the organization ranges between 15 to 20%, but the profit margins of the industry, of the wholesale industry, is 30 to 50%. So at this point, it is not a sustainable business model for us to go B2B. We can work on scalability and pricing in the longer run in order to pursue that path, but right now we'll optimize direct to consumer via focusing on our best seller. We'll also look at marketing. We found out that there are 3 websites. They all try to tell the same story, but it's like a dispersed narrative across the 3. This one has focus on the 7 key goals. The other one has focus on eradicating modern slavery. What we are aiming at is to have one website with our product lines listed up, one story, that is Nazreen's story, and products by all these amazing women coming up in a cohesive way and enabling a good community growth. When we looked at the social media of our NGO, what we realize is that the story is right there. You scroll through their posts, you can see that the story is there, the narrative is there. But there is a lack of cohesive storytelling. The social media the posts are not optimized for social media algorithms. There's no call to action with posts, and the newsletter and SMS engagement is pretty low. I'll pass it on to you.
So now that we've looked at the internal analysis, let's look at the external analysis. As Ben has mentioned, B2B, the time is not now. Not now. Let's look into why. Ever since the pandemic, there has been a 44.4% decline in corporates investing in merchandise and corporate swag for their employees. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason is many corporates and larger firms are going towards employee recognition software providers such as Gusto and WorkHumans. As a result, they're no longer or rarely working directly with suppliers and retailers, which puts a larger emphasis in building our brand and building our market position before reaching out to these B2Bs. On the positive note of things, there is a rebound and going upscale towards corporate merchandise and in order to reward the employees in the upcoming next 2 years. Now, looking further into the market, let's look specifically at their yoga mats, Empowerment Collective's yoga mat, and where does that position in the Canadian market? So there are many different organic and sustainable yoga companies that are emerging, such as Jade Yoga, Meduka, and many others. All of these, or many of these, have a brand name established and a market position established. Some of these are ethically made, some of these are made with unique materials. But what they don't have that what we have is we have a story to tell. All our mats are made ethically and handmade by these women, all with the story to share. Our stories have already been shared on many platforms such as Forbes and Cosmo. All that's left to do is connect the stories to the mat and establish our position in the market. Now, if we were looking at yoga in itself in the market, ever since the pandemic, there has been an upscaling raise of awareness about mental health and physical fitness. Yoga is practiced by 1 in 5 Canadians. There is an annual growth rate of 7.5% in yoga enrollment and yoga courses. But what's most important out of all, Empowerment Collective's 7 key goals strongly align with yoga practice and practitioners. One of the key fundamentals of yoga being the 8 limbs of yoga, and specifically yamas, which is the right action and principles, which is all about the ethical and the moral well-being in us. That's all what Empowerment Collective is about. going further along, moksha, the freedom and liberation from yoga. That's exactly what Empowerment Collective is fighting towards, the freedom and liberation of these women in India and Nepal.
So with that, I'll summarize the key issues that my team just took us through. So on the internal side, we've got low margins. So that's preventing us from penetrating the B2B market right now. The margins just don't justify doing that bulk volume yet. The website and social media, though the story is great, it's not being told in a great way. So there's misalignment on the story that's being told. And you're doing too many different things right now. There's so much that you're doing, and as a result, the message that you're sending to your customers and consumer base is not clear. And when you're doing so many different things, it's also very difficult to scale the operation. On the external side, the B2B industry, especially in corporate swag, is in decline right now. So with the pandemic, it's in decline, and we are anticipating a bounce back in 2 years. But right now is not the right time for you to enter that market. The product positioning is also unclear, and there's a wide breadth of products that are just being listed on the website without a clear position. All of this ties together to a lack of a cohesive story, a story that you're telling for the consumer, something that they can engage with and be part of the journey with you. So, with that, let's first take a look at who your target market should be. Megan here, she's a female, age 51, she's a Java developer. She is interested in new technologies, she's very health conscious, and volunteers at her local soup kitchen. She loves empowering people. She loves working with people on a daily basis. And she resonates with the message that you have, empowering women in these countries. Javon is a male age 27. He's an actor, he's into gaming, he's a gym enthusiast, he goes to improv nights with his friends, and he's a sculptor. He's very artistically and creatively minded. Your yoga mat that is uniquely made, it's handmade, each one is different from the next one. He really relates to that product and is willing to buy it and wants to be part of that message. These are people whose values align very closely with your values, and this should be the target that you focus your yoga mats on. What we want you to do is we want you to be focused, laser focused on the empowerment mat. Focus all of your marketing and your messaging around this one product, the yoga mat. This will help you penetrate this market and tell your story about the women. But as part of that, tell the story about how they're making these mats. Make sure all of your marketing is aligned about telling the story about this mat. That will give you a very clear call to action for your customer base. For a customer whose values are aligned with you, they're going to be asked, hey, how do I help empower these women? Your message is clear. If you want to empower these women, buy the empowerment mat. By telling that story, you will be growing your business, and by growing the business, you're able to empower even more women and thus tell an even better story as you grow. This is your circle of empowerment, right? It's a cycle on how you can grow the business and continue empowering these women. So let's take a little bit of a closer look at the empowerment mat. So yoga mats are already your bestseller. And what we want you to do is be laser focused on telling the message about this. This product will help you penetrate into the premium yoga market so that you can get your other products there eventually as well. But your entire marketing and story should be aligned on this product. It's important that your customers are aligned with this as well. Their values, your target market's values, blend in so perfectly with the yoga market and your own values. And you can further push that with some more transparent marketing. Right on the listing, list the percentage of the cost that goes directly to helping these communities. Be clear with your target market on how they can help these communities. By focusing on this one product, it also helps you scale the operations. You're focused on manufacturing and training people initially on one product that you can get out the door and penetrate the market with. You can also increase your revenue by pricing this at $149. So we actually think the price you currently list this mat at is low based on our analysis. And tying all of this together, by only focusing your marketing on this one product, you're giving a very clear call to action to your target market. Again, how do I help empower women? I help empower women by the empowerment mat.
A quick step plan to deal with the internal issues is, first of all, we can increase the price of our empowerment mat to $149. We can obviously have one single website listing all our goals, our vision and our mission, and tie up with Nazreen's story. We can empower movement by buying the empowerment mat so that the proceeds go back to the women who are working so hard at it. And we can streamline our bestsellers. We can sell our bestsellers to streamline our operations and manufacturing around the city.
And now to address some of the external issues that I mentioned earlier. So as I mentioned earlier, going B2B industry, now is not the time. The opportunity is coming, but there's some work to be done before we can go into the B2B industry. Ben will be later talking about how we're gonna go about it. It's just not now. As B has explained, right now we need to focus on just one product, being our bestseller product, and having a clear story and a clear call to action. Also, our yoga mat pricing at $149 allows us to penetrate the yoga premium mat, as the yoga premium mat market prices range from $90 to $200. So setting it at $149 puts the message clear that we're entering the yoga premium market. And also, we need more content like these. We need to focus our marketing like this. We need to clearly tell the story that our mats are not the retail mats that are available. Our mats are unique and they're ethically made just like this.
So we told you what we want you to do and why we want you to do it. Now I'm going to tell you how. In the next 6 to 12 months, we're really just going to focus on making that cohesive message across all of our socials. We really want to align Nazreen's story with all of that and fuse it so that there's a clear story being told on all the platforms that ties back to that website, ties back to the product. Focus on direct-to-consumer business, not B2B for now. In the first year, that's going to cost us about $40,000 to $60,000 in hiring one person. We're looking to really capture that and capitalize on that low-hanging fruit. When it comes to email marketing, SMS marketing, you're looking at a list size of about 5,000 people, which is comparable to their socials. You're looking at about $300 a month, $3,600 a year for the added technology to do that and really put that out so that you can capitalize on your lists. In the second year, you're going to form strategic partnerships with your Instagram influencers who are really now going to be thriving on the message. And we really want to be clear, this is a penetrative strategy. We're not saying get rid of all the other products. We're just saying focus on the yoga mats. These women still need to be able to express themselves. That's extremely important. Engage the influencers who are now going to be really passionate about your brand and your messaging. And we're going to be looking at about 500 to 1,000 mats that we're going to need to be able to give away in that first year. Given the margins right now, even if they cost $60 per mat at the moment to cover all their costs, you're looking at $30,000 to $60,000 of mats that you need to give away to really engage those influencers. And I got to be clear, that has got to be a coordinated attack. You can't just be giving them away willy-nilly. We need to build those relationships slowly from the 6 to 12 month part and really dive into them in year 1 to 2. And then long term, we're going to engage those businesses B2B because now we'll have the brand traction to engage that. And then focus on employee resource groups at some of the large corporations like Deloitte or McKinsey, IBM, Pepsi, for example. How does that impact your stakeholders? By really telling that story. The business grows, and then the communities that this business is supporting continue to thrive and feel supported. The donors, by telling that story and building that business and building that community, the donors feel really excited about what they're supporting and are then encouraged to continue doing that into the future. By streamlining operations, Nazreen and the Empowerment Collective can really thrive in an environment where they're learning what it means to scale a business and what it means to grow at a high pace, because that's going to be challenging, especially with handcrafted items. And of course, continuing to tell that story, the customers are going to be passionate and excited about being aligned with, supporting a business that they're aligned with their values. So Nazreen, she's got a vision, and that's got to see it in her eyes. It's got to be infused in everything they do, and doing that will help to continue building a community globally. Thank you so much.
Thank you.